Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Daddy Cheese. Today I want to look at plus frames. Plus frames are so sick. I really love plus frames, especially Mission plus frames. The iconic forward four, and then the electric, which gives hella plus frames, especially if you're at a wall. And just if you had a wall, like if you had a wall, electric's huge plus frames, and you can really go into a mix up of that like crazy. But anyway, plus frames in Tekken, they give you an advantage, of course. They might just give a 1 to 2 frame advantage. Some might give plus 6, plus 7, like Dragunov's running 2, which is an absurd amount of frames if you ask me. Because I reckon it's just insane. But with plus frames, they can range from highs, mids. If you hit an opponent and you just finish the string, you might have plus frames from that, depending if it knocks down or something like that. You might just have an advantage with your frames. With Kazuya, I'm going to show what plus frames he has and what advantage it gives him, and how you can like apply that with your own character if you find out what plus frames they have. So you can just look at the frame data, find, oh, this move does this or does that, and gives me plus 2 frames, and I can do something out of it. But most iconically, a lot of people will go into a plus frame and then down forward 1, but with Kazuya, his down forward 1 is very slow. So if you're playing someone like Heihachi, you can go down forward 1, you go plus frame move to down forward 1, and then you can sidestep, depending on how your opponent reacts. Of course, your opponent may just try button mash and not respect frames at all. And that way, if he does that, then you can realize next time he does, you can just go straight for a jab, and it'll beat him out, and you'll punish him for it. But so a lot of times people with normal or fast down forward ones will usually go into plus frames, and then they'll down forward 1 check them, which is most people have a mid down forward 1, if not all, have a down forward 1 check, and then you just check them, and if they don't do anything, then you can re-go in. You can mix up, you can do whatever you want, really, go back into another plus frame. But you can mix plus frames up quite a lot. Other people will go into plus frame, they might move up, like plus frame, move up, sorry, plus frame, move, plus frame again, move, plus frame again, and just try and get your opponent to respect you and maybe get them thinking a little too much. But you can do a lot of things. You can go into plus frames into like a mix up if you want. There's a lot of things you can do of plus frames, and a lot of plus frames like will force your opponent to crouch, so that way they can only do certain moves to respond to you. So you might be able to what do you call it? Forward four leaves them in crouching, so they can only do while standing moves until they rise back up. But they can also go for like a crouch low like that, and you might be smart and try bait that, and expect that to come out. Bait that, low parry, whatever, get a huge punish or something. But a lot of people that know what they're doing, they will, if you hit them with plus frame, they will respect it. In lower ranks, you might do this, and they just might press a button, and they just might spam and do something. A lot of people, if people don't know what a plus frame is, or what frames they're at, or even frames in general, they might just not respect it at all, and you might just get annoyed because you might not be expecting it. You might be trying to go for a setup, and then just out of nowhere, they're there in that position, and then just go ham. They just go low like that or something. Or if their character has like a launcher from while crouching, they might do that. Or they might just get up and start pressing buttons. Like they might just stand up and then press or something. You might be going for another you might do this and then go for a very slow follow-up, where you're trying to give yourself an advantage that gets faster, and also, so you might go into plus 4, oh not plus 4, forward 4, which gives plus frames, into a slow startup move for an advantage, so that way it comes out faster, and so on. But they might just get up and press and then interrupt you, and you might get annoyed. But a lot of people will respect plus frames, and you can mix it up with even more plus frames if you want. So you can go into like Kazuya's forward 4, and then you go into like down back 2, which gives plus frames and leaves them in crouching. And then that's another good way. But if you're, depending on your character, if you're playing a Mishima, for example, if you do a perfect electric in the open, it does give plus frames, but it also has pushback. But if you get them to the wall over here, I haven't warmed up yet, but anyway, if you have plus frame, if you do electric out of wall, perfect electric, you have a huge amount of plus frames because they can't go back any further, so they just have a huge amount of plus frames. But the only thing is, it's a high. It's a high, so that means like they can duck underneath it, even with all the extra frames, so they can duck underneath it, and then you'll be the one being punished. But that way you can just mix it up. You can go to electric and then go into a forward 4, and it still have that advantage. It's still your turn type thing. But you always have to be careful because they might just sidestep or sidewalk, stuff like that. But with plus frames, you can do quite a lot of things with them. It's a huge advantage, and then you can always go for a setup if you want to just apply pressure. You can even just go in the forward 4, or not forward 4, just any pressure tool, and then any pressure tool, and then you can also start. You can just go into a normal jab, or go into a string, don't finish the string, and then go back into more plus frames, stuff like that. And that way, you're just constantly mixing them up with frames and trying to keep your turn as much as you can, so that way they can't do much. But depends on the situation and the player, of course. And then I'm pretty sure every rage drive gives you an advantage, or some even give a guaranteed mix-up, so that way it's really good. So sometimes you can just go out of a rage drive, which gives huge plus frames, and then straight into another thing. Then straight into another mix-up, which would be really good. Or who knows, you might even go into plus frames into a mix-up, so that way, or not into a mix-up, sorry, into a rage drive. So that way you're just keeping the plus frames and they're respecting your rage as well. But that's all situational, or you just really have to feel your opponent, because you'll be able to get a lot going. Because you might be able to just do something like this, catch him ducking maybe. So like plus frames, and then I like to mid check always after plus frames. I really won't ever go for a low. Yeah, but I really won't ever go for a low. I feel like it's a bit too risky for my likes, for my taste. Sorry, I prefer just to try to get a set. I might go for a throw or something like that, or I might go into plus frames into another move, and then a lot of one Kazuya at least what do you call it? A lot of his plus frames moves counter hit as well, which give a what do you call it? I think not even counter hit, but just what do you call it? Down back to just his, I think you get yeah, you just get a free 4 forward 4 anyway. But forward 4, if it's counter hit, you get a huge amount of free damage as well, which is really good. It's really nice. And then a lot of plus moves, depending on the character, of course, will have their own little setups, own little advantages. But it's one part of Tekken. There's so many ways to do things with Tekken, but plus frames. A lot of characters are really cool. Plus frames animations as well, and other people just like to use them. If you like someone like Dragunov, with his running move, it's crazy. Also, and most running moves are also plus as well, unless you're doing a slide. The slide is launch punchable. But if you're doing like a slash kick, for example, huge plus frames, but they can be sidestepped, of course. But it's just all about how you play and how you implement all the plus frames and stuff like that. Because they can be difficult. There's a lot of crazy comebacks people have had with plus frames, sorry. Because you just keep them in check, they won't be able to do anything, or they won't be able to do anything, but they will feel like they won't be able to do anything, and they'll sit there and panic. And it's crazy strong. If you know how to abuse it, make it so your opponent thinks that they have no idea what they're doing, or no idea what they're doing. Make it so they think they can't do anything, and that way you'll be in the mindset and in control of the match, and you'll be able to do a lot. But if you guys enjoyed, take care, have a good one.